Hello everyone. So our today's editorial is without land or recourse. Yeah. So this editorial is revolving about around the Forest Act 2016 to 2006 and this recent Supreme Court judgment on the same. So Forest Right Act 2006 talks about the certain rights of the people living in the forest or the forest dwellers. Example, they right of on the minor produce, right on the forest resources, etc. All these things are mentioned in the Forest Right Act. Apart from this, in India, we have a constitutional body, that is National Commission for Scheduled Right, which ensures that these rights are maintained properly. These are rights are granted to them and protected adequately, and to provide them minor produce and all these things. So we have two major provision. That first one is the Forest Right Act and other one is the National Commission for the Scheduled Tribes. So recently government has conducted a survey in order to weed out the bogus forest dwellers, so that the rights provided in these acts are given to the real beneficiaries, to the real people, not to the bogus or the artificial ones. So as per this survey, more than 50% of the people fail to claim themselves as a forest dweller. So this is the very huge number where more than majority of the people fail to present themselves as a forest dweller. Usually what happen, these people living in the forest areas have to show their patta. Patta means a land. Have to show their land, that they are having a land in the forest area, and on that basis government identify them as a forest dweller. But due to some or other reasons, majority of the people fail to present their land or claim for the forest dweller, and because of this they are facing harassment. And that's why this case went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court in its recent judgment said that the people or the forest dweller who fail to claim their rights, or who fail to claim their land and all, they must be evicted from that land. Now Supreme Court is in the favor of that survey and is saying that though all those people who fail to present themselves as a forest dweller, they should be evicted from the forest, and they should be evicted from the forest, and certain action should be taken against them. So this judgment of Supreme Court is attracting criticism from here and there, that Supreme Court can become so rude to a particular community, and saying that, and even saying to the conviction of the eviction of such people. Moreover, Supreme Court also directs the government in 21 states by name to carry out eviction of rejected claimants without further delay. So this judgment is gaining so much attention. But what is the reality behind this survey? Is it true that 50% of the people living in the forest areas are bogus one, or it is some fault by the government side? So one committee is there, Zaza committee, that is regarding for the tribal communities. It said that it observed that the claims are being rejected without assigning the reason. That most of the people who are rejected by the government, they are not cited any reason behind their rejection, and most of these surveys are conducted on the wrong interpretation, or on the basis of the lack of evidence and the absence of GPS. So there's, at present, government has applied no adequate technology or adequate method to conduct that survey. In short, the survey is not much authenticated. The survey is presenting only half truth, not the full reality of this scenario. This is what this committee is recommended. So that's why this is a big issue, because the right, just scheduled castes or just scheduled tribes rights are specifically mentioned in the constitution. They are mentioned in the schedule 5, schedule 6, and even the fundamental right, that is 19 clause 5. So here, if the Supreme Court, who is considered as the guarantor or the conservator or interpreter of the Constitution, is itself is delivering a wrong judgment, it itself is delivering judgment on the basis of the half truth or on the basis of the half knowledge, then how can a democracy in India will survive? So this is what the question this author is talking about. So in this editorial, the what is the most important is the how we can protect such our constitution and our democracy, where the Supreme Court is the prime leader here. But when Supreme Court too gave such judgments, then who will protect the democracy? So here again questions come that the institutions, I made earlier one video on the importance of institutions in democracy, and it clearly states that institutions plays a vital role in the democracy. They are the part of the check and balance in democracy, and these institutions conduct survey. If the proper surveys are conducted, if the institutions are remain independent, and less government interference will be there, so these problems will be resolved easily. But from the time being, for the time being, as now, the Supreme Court should review its judgment, and the rights of these people, the minorities, the scheduled tribes, should be taken into consideration as soon as possible in order to prevent any further casualties. So this is what this editorial is talking about. So thank you.